investigations. We have with us Congressman Adam Schiff, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, who is conducting an investigation. I know you would say it's neither partisan nor ridiculous. I want you to take a listen to what President Trump exactly said.
An economic miracle is taking place in the United States, and the only thing that can stop it are foolish wars, politics, or ridiculous partisan investigations.
Now, the president's being investigated, and he and his family and his associates and his campaign and his inaugural committee are all being investigated by various different organizations. The Mueller group, the Southern District of New York, the Manhattan District Attorney, the Senate Intelligence Committee, the House Judiciary Committee, and your committee. I don't know which one he was referring to, maybe all. What was your reaction?
Well, when he started that sentence by the only thing that can get in the way of the economy is ridiculous, I thought he would have said ridiculous government shutdowns because that had the most demonstrable negative impact on the economy. Look, this is a president who's had 2 years of getting used to no oversight whatsoever by the Congress. A Congress that was essentially not even a rubber stamp, but no stamp at all. It was just absent. And so he is bridling under the fact that with a Democratic majority, we're going to do our job. We're going to be a co-equal branch of government. We're not going to turn and look the other way when we see corruption or malfeasance. And we're going to get to the bottom of what Russia has done. We're going to get to the bottom of whether the Russians still possess financial leverage over the president. We would be negligent in not doing so.
And you're working with the Republicans on your committee, so it is a bipartisan investigation?
Well, it started out as a bipartisan investigation, and then the Republicans decided to shut it down. We will invite them to rejoin the investigation. It's my hope that they will. We'll find out in very short order.
Dana has a question for you, I think.
Well, I want to drill down on something that Jake was talking about. The Southern District of New York, CNN reported, I'm sure you saw today, that the prosecutors up there in New York have requested interviews with executives at the Trump organization. What do you make of that?
Well, a couple things. So, first, we in our committee have shared the concern that there may have been foreign money put into the inauguration through the inauguration committee through straw purchasers. We know that happened in part. We don't know the extent that may have happened. But it's part of a broader phenomenon that we have seen of people very close to the president, maybe the president's own family, trying to capitalize, trying to make money on his position, on the office. And here, the head of the inauguration committee, if this memo can be believed, if it's accurate, was also trying to exploit for financial benefit his work on the inauguration. So we are looking into this. Other offices, obviously, the Southern District or others are looking into this as well. It may also be a result of the fact that there's clearly an effort to shut down the Mueller investigation. And by these other offices taking this up, we can make sure that those who are responsible for breaking the law are brought to justice.
An effort to shut down the Mueller investigation different from what we've seen before? Is there something new that you're referring to?
We've seen pressure from the White House all along to shut down Mueller. And we saw recently Matt Whitaker, this handpicked acting attorney general, who talked about how he could privately cripple the Mueller investigation, saying publicly that it was coming to an end. Now, he shouldn't be speaking for the Mueller investigation. That may be his way of trying to pressure Mueller to wind things up.
Congressman Schiff, you heard the president say specifically tonight he wants a border wall. He said that walls work, walls saves lives, but he also said he wants a compromise. Are Democrats willing to compromise and provide at least some funds for what he calls barriers? Forget about the word walls, barriers, at least along part of the border with Mexico.
Oh, we are certainly ready to find common ground on border security, and I hope that this group of members that are working together will be able to do that. Indeed, before he shut down the government, we had agreed on bipartisan funding for border security. But the problem here is we're not negotiating amongst ourselves in Congress. We're really negotiating where the ultimate client is apparently Rush Limbaugh or Ann Coulter. And what the president says, or his people say, don't necessarily bind their position if he gets too much blowback. So whether we can reach a deal that's going to be acceptable to these conservative pundits, I doubt. But we are ready to work in a bipartisan way. And indeed, we've already done that in the past.
Well, let's see what happens over the next few days.